welcome back to the channel. It's been a while, but you join me in an F80 M3, and this one isn't your standard F80 M3, shall I say. Yeah, this one's tuned to 580 brake horsepower. Loved the F80, just the shape of them. I think the G80, the next one's just the grille is growing on me, but the F80 is still a lovely shape, especially when you mod them. This one, it just looks lovely. It's been lowered, stanced, it's got the CS style wheels on it, carbon everywhere. It's very low though at the front. We're talking, you can just about get a tennis ball in underneath the spoiler, and that does cause a few problems. Now, I got this car for the school run, not just for the school run, but it just as a daily really. And there's a lot of speed bumps where we live, and my God, you've got to be so careful going over speed bumps. And not just that, you've got all the people that you're annoying because you have to go over them like 2 miles an hour, and you have to like straddle them so you don't take your front splitter off, of which I've almost done about 3 times. Something I don't like about this car, number one, well, all right, let's just get straight into it. I don't like the noise of these cars. The F80, the 3 litre, it doesn't sound good. And this one, it's got an ASBO upgrade. So you've got, I think it's a sport cat on it, and it's not a straight through exhaust, but my God, it does sound loud. When you've got the sport on, the flaps are just open, and it is just antisocial. That's being polite. So what I do, I find I'm driving it just in the efficient mode rather than sport, because with sport it's always on, and the flaps, with them open, it's just too much noise. Also, the gears, when it's in auto, I know you've got the flappy paddles on it, but when it's in auto, when you slow down and you're coming from like third to second, it just holds third, so you start to judder. Just little gripes. If you own one of these, maybe it's just this, maybe it's been mapped, the gearbox has been mapped so it's more aggressive, but to use it as a daily, I find it easier to literally just use the flappy paddle gearbox on it. Now, aside from that gripe, the gearbox is beautiful. Honestly, all right, I know I say SMG's all right. I'm a big believer in the whole SMG with the CSL, but you're right, you do see the light. When you jump into something like this, the gearbox, as you'd imagine, is completely next level. With that said, I've been out in the CSL since, and it's not that bad still. You definitely need to adjust to it, but this literally, it's like there isn't even a gear change. It just changes that fast. It's relentless, and because of that, with the stage 2 power, it just feels like a train. You're just pulling constantly. It's just so fast. And that in itself is an issue on roads, UK roads. It is literally too fast. I love the acceleration element, the fact that it will just get the 60. This will do 60 in like 3 point, low 3s easily when it's dry. I mean, look at this, it's probably about 8 seconds in this weather. So onto the things I love about the car. It looks beautiful. I've always liked the shape of the F80, but this one in particular, just something about it, the way it looks. You don't see many that look like this. I know it's subjective, but I love the aggressiveness, how it stands, just the lowness of it. Alright, yeah, the splitter could be maybe a little bit higher in real terms, but I just love how it looks. It's a beautiful looking car. Handle's nice, comfy, does pretty much everything you need to do. So things I don't like about it, the noise. Just, I don't like the F80 how it sounds, and with all this exhaust and sports cat, it just amplifies it, which isn't great. It's too low for daily use. I just think it's a pain. I have to always constantly watch that front splitter, and they're not cheap. You wreck one of them, you're hundreds of pounds you're talking, and it's just the inconvenience for them to go and get it changed over. It's just a pain. That is literally it. I can't think of anything else I don't like about the car. It's just those couple of little gripes. I've already said about the gearbox just being a bit lazy. Would I recommend owning an F80 as a daily? Absolutely, they're just amazing cars. Would I recommend owning a Stage 2 580 brake horsepower one as a daily? Probably not. I think they're a little bit extreme to be used as a daily at this level of tune. But that said, they're a lot of fun. These new models have got the start-stop on them as well, which I've never ever been a fan of. So luckily there's a button here, you can turn it off. Roadworks everywhere. Weather, roadworks, mud. Welcome to the UK. Listen. Asbo, absolute Asbo. It's good fun though. So let's talk about fuel economy. Why not? It's an M3, you don't buy a type of car for fuel economy, do you? But, you know, it's interesting to talk about it at least anyway. So with these, I'm going to make this up. I think they probably do about, I don't know, what, 30, 35 to the gallon? If you're driving it sensibly. I've never owned a car that does more than 30 to the gallon, so this is like frugal. Not this car, I'm talking about the M3, the normal F80 that hasn't been tuned is probably frugal. This car does a maximum I've actually ever seen from a full tank brimmed is 300 miles. More often than not, I'm getting about 270. So I mean, you're into like electric vehicle realm, aren't you? If you're only getting like 200 something miles to a tank. But it's worth it, you know. I mean, when you get in this car, you do want to drive it, you want to have some fun in it. Granted, I don't really drive it properly because it's more of a daily school run type of car, and you don't really, you know, put your foot down on the school run. But I do lots of short journeys in this, and I think that has a massive impact on the fuel economy, especially when you're talking, you know, Stage 2. So yeah, if you are going to tune your car up, do not expect to see north of 300 miles per tank. Fuel prices are all over the place currently. It's not actually too bad. I just tend to close my eyes now when I fill it up. This, I think the latest one with V-Power, I only ever run this on V-Power, obviously you're not going to run this on, you know, the crap fuel. I think it's about 153, 155 per litre, which is quite good because only like a couple of months ago I was paying 180 a litre. So yeah, it is a bit of a roll of dice when you go to Shell these days, but it's not that bad. It costs maybe, I don't know, close to 100 quid, maybe not quite 100 quid at the moment to fill it up, so it's not too bad. It likes to kangaroo a bit when you're in sport, I'll tell you that. You have to just get in a second fairly quick. Inefficient, it's not actually too bad, but sport, it does like to kangaroo. Ugh. Traction again. Certainly a handful in this weather, that's for sure. But yeah, I would not want to have traction off completely. I'm not that confident. It's certainly a different experience driving a twin turbo 580 horsepower Stage 2 car compared to a CSL naturally aspirated 3.2. It's a lot snappier when the turbos spool up and it kicks in, the boost. My god, you just got to be on it. You have to be ready for it, ready to catch it. Even with traction on, you just all over the place still. The CSL in comparison, it's a much more pliant type of drive. You can control it better when the back steps out. It's just a completely different type of car to drive and to handle. This is like a caged animal, and the CSL is just more like you're dancing with that car. It's totally different. But that said, it's good. It's a hell of a fun car. I'm not keeping it. I am going to get rid of this and swapping it for probably an RS5. The newer ones, so definitely in these conditions it will be an easier, more relaxing car to drive than rear-wheel drive with 580 horsepower. So would I recommend buying one as a daily? Definitely, as I've already said. Would I recommend buying one that's been tuned to this level as a daily? Probably not. But yeah, it's still a lot of fun, and I'd highly recommend getting one if you get the opportunity. So hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please give me a thumbs up, subscribe if you're new to the channel, and I'll see you again soon.